Hello everyone, welcome to Silver Lake Beekeeping Q&A, answering your questions that you might have. So I decided to take a look at some of your questions that you made on my videos and answer directly to you. First question is from JohnnyX7078. I really love this channel, great stuff. Where in US are you? Where in Europe? I am in Massachusetts. It seems that my hives are in a very similar situation, strong for winter. For me, it took 5 years of mistakes to get to this point, mite-free and loaded with resources. Question: although the brood nests are smaller, the queens are still laying, just less. Does that make sense? Thanks again. Okay, John, we are located in northern part of Iowa. We are in Waterloo, Cedar Falls area. In Massachusetts, I would assume that you guys also have harsh winters, a similar wintering position as far as bees. You are right, the queens are slowing down. In our region, the cluster brood nests are getting really smaller. As soon as the bees emerge, the worker bees are filling those pots with nectar, and bees are preparing for the winter. So to answer your question, yeah, in our area bees are still laying and there's still brood present. Usually in November, like late November, bees are broodless and we are doing oxalic acid treatment when the bees are totally broodless. And thank you again for your question, and wish you and your bees all the best. The next question is from Russell. It says Russell Kopman 3004. It says good video. The queens sure have slowed down. I was thinking about doing my first fall oxalic acid next week, followed by one later should help. Yeah, Russell, like I answered John in my previous question, everything is slowing down and preparing for the winter. Queen is reducing her cluster. Worker bees are filling the spots with nectar. I don't know, in your area you are more north than we are, and if you're broodless, yeah, it would be a good idea to do oxalic acid treatment. I would check about dosage of oxalic acid if you're doing vaporization, because right now there's been studies, and if you follow Bob Beanie and his channel and stuff, they're putting more than double the recommended dose. I know it's like 1 gram per brood box, but they're putting like 2 to 3 grams now. So I would check on the dosage and see, but if your bees are broodless, it'll be a good time to do it. Our bees are not broodless yet. Always, every year is around in November, like late November, that we are doing oxalic. So again, Russell, thank you very much for your question, and wish you and your bees all the best. Okay, another question is also from Russell. Says, sorry to hear that your honey crop was below expectations. Here in south central Minnesota, my crop was the best I've had in 5 years. Now I have to sell all that honey. How do you sell your honey? Markets and or stores? In our area, we have couple farmers markets that my wife goes to, and also there are a few stores that we supply our honey to. We don't sell any honey wholesale prices. Everything is retail, and most of our honey is sold right here at our farm. Thank you for your question. Okay, another question is from Getty 1965. Says, what steps will you take to do splits in South Florida? We are northern climate beekeepers, and we are very different than southern beekeeping, like Georgia or Florida. And I am afraid that I can't answer your question, because I don't know, you guys do things a lot differently than we do. This late, we are not doing any splits or anything like that. What we do is, if we have weaker hives or I call them support colonies. I have nukes throughout the year I use when I need requeening, or so if they didn't build enough, I overwinter them on top of the double screen board on our top of our regular hives. We need all the heat that we can get to, from the regular hive. The heat goes through the double screen, and bees don't mix, and queens can't kill each other because it's a double screen. That way the smaller colonies and nukes can survive on top of the regular hive. As far as splits, I can't tell you nothing. We do splits early in the spring, late April or early May. So I would check with other beekeepers that are more like southern based. Okay, another question is, will you be doing some feeding of sugar syrup yet this fall? Both hives look strong. Those are the nuke and package hive. But I like hives that know what time of the year and store honey and reduce laying. Have a great week, and thanks for the video. This video was back in September. We still had a lot of brood, and bees were laying a lot. But now, as you saw in my previous video, they really reduced their laying, and everything is slowing down. These queens, they know when it's time to slow down. Carnelian queens have tendency to know when to reduce the cluster and when go broodless completely during the winter, especially that have those New World carnelians or have traits of Old World Slovenian lineage Carnica. I like those queens because they're similar, Alps region in Europe when the winter is really cold, and I like the queens that have traits that reduce the cluster and eliminate cluster completely during the winter. Another part of the question is, do I feed all my hives sugar syrup? I have seen beekeepers that just feed every hive. They want to make sure that all the hives are good for the winter and they have plenty of food. But I think that's especially if we have around 150 hives. For me, that would be a waste of time and money to just go, and because bees are like a hungry teenagers. They will eat whatever you feed them. They would take it. But if you don't need to feed, you're wasting your resources, money, and time. So I go. Every hive is individual. I look individually and assess the situation and to see if they need feeding. I feed throughout the August if they need a little help, and even in September, when to catch up if I didn't have time. But usually everything is done by now. By early October, all the hives are up to weight and they're ready for the winter. So to answer that question, I don't feed all the hives or open feed. I only feed specifically, the hives that need help, and the ones that have enough, simply they don't need feeding. I do the closed system where, and I think the honey is the best insulator. I don't wrap the hives, so leaving enough honey for them is the best way to insulate a hive, and properly placed too, to have them above their cluster on all sides, left, right, and above their heads especially. So I only insulate the top of the hive. But again, I don't feed all the hives at the same time. Greg Starma 7750 asks, how do you prepare 5-frame nukes or smaller splits for the winter? Can you make video? Thanks. See, I already answered that question. So how do I overwinter them? I overwinter above the double screen so both hives can share the heat. I don't run upper entrances, or I don't open. I have the closed system, so both of these hives, regular double deep hive and a single or a nuke above, will share the same. It will be act as one hive. So I will leave enough food. Right now, those weaker hives and splits, That's the way I winter them, on top of the production hives. And the last question is, why didn't you check the bottom? It was from Cloud Bowen 6640. Why didn't you check the bottom boxes on the hives? This time of the year, I like to disturb as less as possible the hives. They need rest, they need their peace, they're preparing for winter. You don't want to disturb them too much. The reason why I open, a hive or two is to show you guys how they look like, how's the position, of food. Do they have enough food and stuff like that? How's the brood, is the queen, what's the size of the nest the queens are laying. But I don't really like to open the hives, especially the bottom, or remove the frames, separate boxes, because everything is glued with propolis right now. And also bees created the bridge between the frames, between the top of the bottom box and on the bottom of the top box. Those frames in between have small wax bridge that bees cross during the winter to reach the food on the top box. So if you break that all the time, they have to work hard and extra to repair that bridge. And also if you are removing the propolis, they need to reseal everything again. So that's the reason why I didn't check that. And I usually leave them alone. I feed them enough for the winter. If there's no food, if they have enough food, I just leave them. I just want to make sure that food is properly placed. I treat for mites on time in early August, and I check the queen if it's not old failing queen or if she's laying. So those are the things that I check. And after I check that in September, I just close them and leave them. I don't touch them till like February, March to see when they have cleansing flights. I put mouse guards on the entrance, and when the snow falls, because I don't run upper entrance, I clean their bottom entrance and see, with my thermal camera, how's the winter cluster, where is it, and how, if bees are alive, and check the snow for dead bees, when they're doing their cleansing flights. So that's all I do. So again, thank you guys for your questions. If you have more questions that you would like me to answer, if you have specific question for your operation, or you want to ask me a question about how I do things, please leave a question below, and I'll do this Q&A session with you guys. Thank you so much, and happy beekeeping.